Welcome to the ITS Lab Services How to Schedule Shifts tutorial. Shifts are the hours you work for lab services. They come in two flavors. Permanent shifts are shifts you are responsible for every week throughout finals week. Temporary shifts, on the other hand, are a one-time single occurrence, which you are responsible for only for that particular date and time. Scheduling permanent shifts. Scheduling of shifts occurs every time scheduling of classes occurs. After add drop week, your schedule is set for the remainder of the term. Lab assistants are placed into scheduling groups by their supervisor and will be notified of their group via email well in advance of a scheduling week. What group you are in depends primarily on two factors. The first is your seniority. The longer that you've worked here, the higher up in the scheduling groups you will be. 2 is your employment reviews. The reviews are completed by the supervisory assistants of labs in which you've previously had permanent shifts in. Group 1 is made up of the most senior employees who schedule on day 1. Group 2 schedules on day 2, and etc. The number of scheduling groups varies from quarter to quarter. You can schedule up to 15 hours of permanent shifts during scheduling week. You can schedule perm shifts only in the labs that you are authorized for. If you are away on co-op, you can schedule for your perm shifts via a proxy, which means that a friend of yours can schedule your perm shifts for you, but only on your designated scheduling day. Open scheduling occurs after all groups have had a chance to schedule. This is when you can add 5 more permanent hours to the 15 hours you hopefully got during scheduling week. All RIT students are restricted to working fewer than 20 hours per week. This is especially true for international students who are in violation of their visa agreements if they exceed 20 hours a week. Please be sure to account for other jobs that you may have on campus and keep your total less than 20 hours per week. How to check your schedule. Simply log into the Lab Services website by going to https://apps.rit.edu/its/DSS. It would behoove you to memorize this web address as soon as possible. And remember to log in with your Lab Services account, which was provided to you upon time of hire. Go into the ribbon and select Scheduler. Using the top left menu icons within the scheduler, you can search for available temporary shifts by clicking on the Temp Shift link. You can also search for available permanent shifts. Remember, you will only be able to see available shifts in the labs that you're authorized to work in. You can also see your temporary and permanent shift schedule by clicking on 2 different viewing options. The first is Schedule List View, and the second is Schedule Graphic View. Finally, you can view your schedule profile, which lists the total number of perm hours you're scheduled for, the total hours you're working this week, which includes the temporary shifts you may have picked up, and a list of labs that you're authorized to work in. How to pick up shifts. You can pick up temp shifts by yourself by clicking on them. You can even split shifts up, but each segment has to be at least 2 hours long, which means if there is a 4-hour shift available, you can take the first half, the second half, or the entire 4-hour shift. The example you see pictured is only for 2-hour-long shift from 12:30 to 2:30. Notice the military time. Therefore, you have to pick up the full duration of the shift, which you can do by simply clicking on it. On this dialog box, it simply gives more details about the shift, where it's located, who posted the shift, what type it is, and you can simply take the shift by clicking Take Shift. Remember, you need office approval to pick up permanent shifts. You can only pick up shifts in labs that you're authorized for. Not everyone is authorized for every lab. How to drop shifts. You can nearly always pick up and drop temporary shifts without office approval, as long as the drop occurs 15 hours prior to the shift. That is the cutoff time that Lab Services has designated as adequate. Your shift is your responsibility until someone else picks it up. It will remain in your list of scheduled shifts, but it will be colored red to indicate that you tried to post the shift. It will disappear once someone else has picked it up. To drop a shift for one time, temporarily, click on the shift and select what date and what time you want to drop it. Remember, you have to drop at least 2 hours, and there have to be at least 2 hours left. You need office approval to drop shifts permanently. If you need to drop a temp shift and it is less than 15 hours away, an office coverage person can help you. But the office coverage cannot help you drop a permanent shift. Only co-ops and lab managers can help you with permanent shifts. How to switch shifts. You can switch shifts with other Lab Services employees as long as they meet the following criteria. 1. They are already hired by Lab Services. 2. Both people are authorized to work in the lab that the shift is in. 3. Both parties notify the office of the shift change. Do not simply have friends cover for you without notifying the office, because you're still liable for anything that happens. Make sure that your schedule is always an accurate reflection of the hours that you work. Thank you for watching the ITS Lab Services How to Schedule Shifts tutorial. Please take the quiz online before moving on to the next video.